Common question is how does someone start investing in real estate? Well, come on along and let's go see how I started investing in real estate. Why listen to me? Well, I'm Chase Ringgold and I'm a real estate agent here in town with Keller Williams One Legacy Partners, and I've been investing for almost 3 years now, me and my wife have, and we've acquired 5 properties is what we have right now, and we sold 2 in Texas and picked 2 more up recently. So we're gonna swing by and check those out today as well. A lot of people I talk to ask either what is the easiest way to get into real estate investing or what is the fastest way to get into real estate investing. And I think that those two are kind of separate from each other. There's some people that want to hustle really hard and get it done quick, and there's some people that want to casually invest in real estate and build wealth over time. The first property we're going to stop at is one that I used to live in, which I think is the easiest way to get into real estate investing. Buy a primary residence and live in the property yourself for a year, year and a half, 2 years, whatever it takes. Save up some more money and go buy another primary residence. Move up in life and use that property that you had before as a rental, and now you have a 30-year mortgage on it, which is a little harder to come by in the investing world. We're pulling up to it right now. So this is the house that me and my wife Maya bought whenever we moved to Kansas, and we lived in it for about a year and a half. We purchased it for around $230,000, which was right after COVID, and we kind of overpaid for the house, not gonna lie. But the market has continued to go up. It's worth about $250,000 now, and we had a mortgage payment of about $1,250, and we have a tenant in it currently for $1,625 a month. That tenant gets out at the end of next month, and then we're gonna bump rent up and get another tenant in there for around $1,800 a month. So we're cash flowing pretty good on it, but the big key is here, they're paying down our mortgage slowly over time and building equity for us. All right, so the house we're pulling up to now is the first house we were able to buy cash. And the reason we were able to buy it cash is because we bought it for $25,000. It was a cheap house that really wasn't in too bad a shape. Those bushes are getting pretty overgrown, huh? The house really wasn't in too bad a shape. It just needed some freshening up. We painted it, we put some floors in it. I ended up putting a mini split in the property with 2 heads because the gravity furnace that was in it was no good anymore. So we were all in about $16,000. So 25, we're at $31,000, and it got appraised at $65,000. So we were able to pull out a loan on that property for $52,000, put a bunch of money in our pocket to be able to go buy and do more deals. The reason we had the cash in the first place to buy this is because the first method we talked about buying a primary residence, living in it, moving into another primary residence and renting out your old one, is a method that we did twice down in Texas, me and my wife. And when we came here to Kansas, we sold those 2 properties and were able to put a bunch of cash in our pocket to make something like this possible. And that's why I say it's the easier method, because it's easier to continue to buy primary residences over time than it is to find a great, fantastic deal, have the money to make it happen, and put all the pieces together to figure it out when you're just living your life and doing things that a normal person does by buying a house, living in it, moving up in life and buying a bigger, better house, what have you, and building equity over time. So now we're at our property on Madison Street. It's right up here between the bushes. There's a lot of bushes around, so we're parked down the road a bit so you can see it. There it is. So the Madison property was the first flip we bought, and we bought this, well, first of all, we talked about the easy way of buying and living in a primary residence and moving on. This is what I would say is the fast way of doing things. We bought this house with a hard money loan, and we didn't use any of our own money to buy it. In doing that, we did some tricky things. Me and my wife Maya both got big credit cards, and we were able to do cash advance on that credit card. So we went and bought this property for $36,000 with a hard money lender, where the hard money lender gave us the funds to flip the property we just needed to bring $6,000 to the closing table. So what we did is we did a cash advance on our credit card, got the funds to close, got the funds to do the flip from the hard money lender, completely remodeled the house. It was absolutely disgusting. I'll throw some pictures up on the video so you guys can see. And we completely remodeled the house and got a tenant in it and refinanced it for $80,000. We purchased it for $36,000 and we put about $30,000 into the property fixing it up. So putting a mortgage on it for $70,000 is what we put a mortgage on it for. We put about $5,000 back in our pocket, paid ourselves back that money that we cash advanced on our credit card, and got this house. It was not the easy way of doing it, but it was the fast way of doing it. We had this thing flipped and a tenant in it within about 6 weeks of us purchasing it, which is pretty quick. So now we're pulling up to our property over here on Garfield. We've been flipping this for the last 6 weeks or so. The process has actually been really slow, and we got held up by Home Depot of all things. It took like 4 weeks for our, what are they called? Cabinets to come in. We ordered these things for freaking ever ago, and it took forever for them to come in. So let's go inside and check it out real quick. So we can't go all the way inside, but we can peek in here. We got wet floors. The floor guy just got done finishing them this morning. I haven't seen it since he started, and it looks pretty good. Yeah, you can definitely see it's still wet. This property was pending foreclosure. The lady owed about $56,000 left on it, and with all of the court fees and stuff like that, we ended up purchasing the property for right around $68,000, and she walked away with about $600. So we helped save her from a foreclosure on her record, got a property for fairly cheap, and now after we're all done, I expect the property is going to appraise for about $140,000. Once we have a renter in it, we should be cash flowing about $150 a month on that property. And we aren't going to have any of our own money into it. Yes, we had to have money to acquire the property, but because it appraises at such a high rate, we are not going to leave any of our money in the property after the cash out. All right, now we're pulling up to another property that I have not purchased yet, but we're planning to purchase here in the next 30 to 45 days. It is this house right here. And the owners are walking up, so I don't want to bother them too much. But this is if you want to get a little more creative, it's a seller finance deal. So basically, the seller of this property has agreed to sell us the house on terms. So basically what we're going to do over the next 10 years, I'm going to make payments to the seller, and the seller has agreed to sell that property to me for $0 down. All I need to do is pay for title work and the cost of closing, which isn't going to be too much. The seller had one stipulation though for a $0 down deal, is he wanted me to have some skin in the game. So my skin in the game is going to be putting a roof on this house. So after closing, I'm going to get my contractor out here and get a roof on this big beautiful house. And instantly picking up cash flow. I believe my payment to the seller is going to be about $800 to $880 a month. I can't remember what we did on the math, but the house is currently bringing in $1,250, $1,300 a month. So instantly I'm picking up cash flow with $0 out of pocket other than maintaining the roof. I'm not paying anything to get a mortgage or anything like that. So it's a creative finance deal that day one, I'm going to be cash flowing. I'm also going to increase the rent from the two tenants that are in there. It's a split or a up-down duplex. It's been converted from a single family home to a duplex, and both the tenants are paying $650 each, and day one I'm going to raise them up to $750 each, because me as the landlord is also paying for the utilities, which I'm going to increase the rent because of that. All right, so we talked about the different ways to get into real estate investing. We talked about the easy way, which is to live in and then move up in life and grab that next house and rent out the house you were living in before. And the fast way, which is hard money loan, creative finance, something along those lines. I thank you guys for watching the video today, and follow along if you want to see some more.